Is it justified to believe something because of who said it instead of what was actually said? I think most people would say not, and that it's only justified to believe in something if you're well informed and have researched it for yourself. But when you got up this morning, tell me, when you brushed your teeth, and for every time you brush your teeth, how did you know that the chemicals in the toothpaste were not likening your chances of developing Alzheimer's? Now this suggestion may seem ridiculous. Something like brushing your teeth you don't think twice about, but can you dispute it? Due to the supposed long-term consequences, you can't just dispute the claim on the basis that you haven't noticed any of the effects yourself. Neither, for most people, can the suggestion be disregarded because you know the composition of the toothpaste and its implications on the brain. Instead, you most likely reject the notion because of your trust in others. The authority of the toothpaste manufacturer who says it's safe, the person who willingly supplied and sold it to you, your government, which has not intervened to stop the supply of it, and your friends and family, who may also willingly use it. You most likely have this blind faith in many other things, such as aeroplanes, medical examinations, and when you use the internet. Perhaps we are predisposed to blindly believe others, starting in life with our parents, who initially seem to know everything about the world. Providing them with this power is a good thing, as they keep us from danger and ultimately have our every best intention. But not all people who we blindly put our trust in are as benevolent. On July 8, 1901, Albert Einstein supposedly wrote in a letter, "Blind obedience to authority is the greatest enemy of truth." A sentiment which would resonate with him 31 years later, in late March of 1933, from his home country Germany, where the introduction of the Enabling Act gave Adolf Hitler the power to pass laws without any opposition. Dictators too can leverage unconditional trust from people. Similar to a parent, they filter their children or subjects' supply of information, but instead of doing it to protect, it's done to influence and manipulate. And this can make ordinary people commit heinous acts. But sometimes trust in authority can be dangerous by other means, not because of the authority's malicious intent, but its incompetence. How many chromosomes does a human cell have? 48. Renowned zoologist Theophilus Painter announces in his 1923 paper on chromosome counts. Over the next 3 decades, 48 chromosomes was the number published in scientific textbooks and accepted by the scientific community. Even with the repetition of the experimental procedure used, researchers consistently counted the same number. However, in 1956 it was discovered that this figure was wrong. Humans only have 46 chromosomes in each cell. The scientific world was shocked. How could this number have been incorrectly accepted for so long? Counting chromosomes is a difficult task, which requires some human judgment, and before the 1950s, the techniques for counting them were not ideal. Whereas nowadays, chromosomes can be separated far apart and viewed on microscope slides, the slides on which Painter observed them, they would have appeared as clumped together blobs. Despite these difficulties, it was supposedly Painter's reputation and authority which deterred other scientists from changing this value. Furthermore, it was reported that in scientists counting less than 48, many would recount or repeat the procedure until they managed to convince themselves that the results conformed to the expected outcome. So far, I've challenged believing someone based solely upon their authority. But despite this, I've pointed out it's something we all do anyway. An individual does not have enough time to become competent in every skill or knowledgeable in every facet of life. Therefore, it's an inevitability that we will encounter situations where we have to rely on the opinions of others. And how else can we determine who is right in these situations, if not to judge the source's integrity, qualifications, and societal position? If we are to judge everyone's opinion equally, regardless of their authority on a subject, then do we not give a platform for extremism? I believe this is already a problem we are facing. Take the US for example, where through various social media, the disillusioned have turned to ideas such as QAnon and Flat Earth theory. Beliefs like these are dangerous, as they undermine the fundamental trust which glues societies together. Without having trust in our government and science, modern society would quickly collapse. Without trust in science, how can we trust our transport, our infrastructure, or our healthcare? Without trust in our government, how can we trust our law enforcement, our education, or our taxes? It's a slippery slope, where if we start to slip, we could bring crashing down with us millennia of advancement and innovation. So is it justified to believe in something based upon who said it instead of actually what was said? I think it is, but we've got to be careful when doing so. When the information comes from a well-established democratic government, or there is scientific consensus, I think this is okay. Blind trust brings with it many dangers, but so does blind mistrust. We should minimize doing either. Aspiring to remain open-minded, yet simultaneously skeptical, thinking critically of what we are told, when we can.